everybody, it's Andy from BeyondGuitar, and here we are with our live streaming. And this video is about how to figure out chords by ear. Okay, and we're going to start with just the most basic, easy chord quiz for you, okay? So you don't even have to have a guitar in your hand right now. You could just be listening, or if you want to try to play and try to play along, you can. But right now, this is a by ear quiz, and so you don't need a guitar. You could just listen. Okay, so what do I mean by ear training and chords? Okay, well, the first thing that we should start with, the most basic thing is, can you tell the difference between a major chord and a minor chord? Let's start with that. Okay, everybody should start with that most basic thing, major chords versus minor chords. All right, so if I play a D chord, that's a major chord. It sounds nice and bright and shiny, like the sun came out. If I play D minor, it sounds moody. Okay, and it has a lot to do with the very highest note, the top note. Okay, in the major chord, you hear this note. And with the minor chord, you hear this note. And that's the one note that makes it different. That one note determines whether it's major or minor. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Let's dive right into it. I'm going to take my guitar and put it off the screen so you can't see. And I'm going to play a random chord. Okay, and then you guess, is it a major chord or a minor chord? This is the best way to learn it, because then you tune into it, and then you might get the first few guesses wrong, but if you just keep playing this game, you'll get better and better. All right, here we go. What is this chord? If you guessed minor, you were correct. If I would have played major, it would sound like this. Okay, now guess a different chord. Ready? What's this chord? If you guessed major, you're correct. Minor would have sounded different. Okay, here we go. What is this chord? If you guessed minor, you are correct. Major sounds like this. Okay, keep going. All right, what is this chord? That is major. Okay, what is this chord? If you guessed minor, you are correct. Okay, guess this chord. That's major. Guess this chord. That was major. Now guess this chord. That chord is minor. Keep guessing. What's this chord? That was major. What's this chord? That's minor. Okay, so take a break for a minute. So on all those chords, I put the note that tells you if it's major or minor at the very top of the chord. And so you could always hear it as the highest note. And that really helps, you know, that draws your ear to it. When the very highest note is what musicians call the third of the chord, then that's the note that determines whether it's major or minor. And so it helps if it's at the top of the chord. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the third of the chord in the middle of the chord, and so it's a little bit harder to tell. A great example would be, for example, like an E chord. On a guitar, when you play an E chord, the note that tells you whether it's a major or minor chord is this note right here, fret 1 on the 3rd string. That's a G sharp. You don't have to know that. Okay, but the point is, the note that tells you that it's major is in the middle of the chord. It's in the middle. It's not at the top. Okay, now if I change that note, now that's minor. Okay, so the note that determines whether it's major or minor this time is going to be in the middle of the chord. You may have a little bit harder of a time guessing, because it's a little bit buried. It's surrounded by other notes, but just do your best, okay? And here we go. I'm going to take my guitar off the screen, and I'm going to quiz you. And if you want to throw in a question into the chat or whatever, I will check it in a second. Here we go. What is this chord? The answer is minor. If it was major, I would have played this. Okay, guess again. What's this chord? That was major. Okay, what's this chord? That's also major. Now guess this chord. The answer is minor. Now guess this chord. That was minor. Now guess this chord. That was major. Now guess this chord. That was major. Now guess this chord. That was minor. Now guess this chord. That was minor. Now guess this chord. That was major. Okay, one more. What's this chord? That was minor. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so we did chords that have the third at the top. We did chords that have the third in the middle. And now we're going to do chords that have the third at the bottom. All right, so the lowest note is going to be the one that tells you. All right, so I'll give you an example. So here's a basic old A chord that you've probably played a million times if you've played guitar. going to put a C sharp right here. And that is a major chord. If it was minor, I would have played this. Sounds a little different, huh? Okay, here we go. Guess this chord. Major. Okay, now guess this chord. Let's see. Let me think of a good one here. Here we go. Minor. What's this chord? That one's major. Guess this chord. Minor. Now guess this chord. Major. Now guess this chord. Answer is minor. Now guess this chord. Minor. Now guess this chord. Major. One more. Guess this chord. Minor. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, now sometimes you have the chords kind of, or the notes in the chords kind of far apart. All right, so in other words, there might be a space in between the notes. I might play a chord with skipping strings, you know, so there's a space between the notes. So sometimes we call those spread triads. Here's an example. I'm playing an A, and I'm playing an E, then I'm skipping a string, then I'm playing C sharp. So the notes are further apart. I'm not playing every string. I'm skipping over a string. These are a little bit harder to guess. Okay, so this time I'm going to give you a spread triad. I'm going to space the notes apart with a string skip. And let's see if you can still guess the answers. All right, here we go. What is this chord? Major. What is this chord? Minor. What is this chord? That chord is minor. What's this chord? That chord was major. What's this chord? The answer is major. What is this chord? That chord is minor. Keep going. What's this chord? also minor. Keep going. What is this chord? The answer is major. All right. What is this chord? That chord is minor. Okay, we could keep going with this game, major and minor. Eventually we can throw in other kinds of chords. You know, we can throw in a seventh chord, or we could throw in a diminished chord or an augmented chord. But here's the question. Do you really hear a lot of augmented chords in a rock tune? Like if you turn the radio on, are you going to hear an augmented chord? You do hear it in classical music, maybe Brazilian music, maybe in jazz every once in a while. But in a radio tune, probably never. How about in a Beatles song? Maybe once in all their 300 songs. Maybe there's one augmented chord somewhere in there. So is it super important to master hearing augmented chords? Well, it's not super important right now if you just want to rock and play rock songs, pop songs. So it's a bit of a academic exercise. All right, but it is good to know seventh chords and diminished chords and a few other types of chords too. So let's throw a few more in there. Let's just go ahead and throw in diminished chords because I feel like that one is the most obvious one to guess. Diminished chords are super, super dissonant. Kind of hard to sing over, and they don't sound major or minor. They sound like a scary movie, right? I always think of those old black and white Western, cowboy movies where the good guy in the white hat and the bad guy in the black hat, and there's someone tied to the railroad tracks, and it sounds like this. Sounds kind of old-timey. Okay, that's a diminished chord. All right, so let's play this game again, and I'll use major and minor and also diminished. Okay, and maybe I'll change my sound. So right now I just have kind of the basic clean sound on electric guitar. But what if we add distortion? That might really make a big difference. Okay, so I could use my pedal, or I could just flip through the different sounds. Okay. Well, that one has a noise gate. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's do a couple examples. All right, if I play a major chord, it's going to sound like this. If I play a minor chord, it sounds like this. And if I play a diminished chord, it sounds like this. Okay, so you guess. All right, here comes a random chord. What chord is this? I'll also play the notes one at a time if it helps. That was major. What chord is this? That is minor. What's this chord? That's a diminished chord. What's this chord? Minor chord. What is this chord? If you guessed diminished chord, you are correct. What's this chord? That's a major chord. Okay, guess this chord. Minor. What is this chord? That's a diminished chord. What is this chord? Major chord. What is this chord? What is this chord? That's minor. Keep going. Okay, what is this chord? Minor chord. What is this chord? Diminished chord. What is this chord? That's a major chord. What is this chord? That's a major chord. What is this chord? That's major. What's this chord? That's a minor chord. What's this chord? That's a major chord. What's this chord? That's a diminished chord. Okay, cool. So we did major, we did minor, we did diminished. I think next time I do a live, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and throw in the other chords, augmented chords and seventh chords, but those are good enough for this time. We covered those three. Okay, but I had a question though about one of the people that watches my videos online asked a question. How can I tell cowboy chords, like your basic C, G, A, D, E, you know, your chords that everybody knows? And the question was, you know, when I hear a song, when I hear like a folk song or an acoustic song or a song on the radio, and it's those chords, I can't figure it out. How can I tell? Okay, so let's spend a few minutes on your basic cowboy chords. And I'm going to go back to my clean sound. Okay, so this is my thought about the different cowboy chords. They come in different categories. E and G have a really low note. This is what I'm trying to explain. When you play an E chord, what do you hear? This really low note on the 6th guitar string. That note's in there. When you hear a G, what do you hear? You hear this low note. E and G are the lowest sounds that you can make on a guitar. Doesn't get any lower than E. You can't play a note lower than E unless you retune or have more strings. So the lowest chord that you could play is an E. I suppose you could also play a very low chord, F, but F bar chord. All right, I'm not going to worry about that because a lot of people play like the easy F and they're not really playing that low note. So to go through that again, the lowest sounds, the two lowest chords you could play on a guitar with deep sounds are E and G. And they have their root notes on the low string, the 6th string. What's next? Okay, then on the next string, on the 5th guitar string, the A string, you have obviously an A chord, which has this A. And you have a C chord, which has the C. Okay, so those are the medium sounds. Those are the sounds on the next string. Those have the root notes on the 5th string. So A is here, A, and C. C. Okay, what cowboy chord didn't I do yet? D. D is kind of in its own category because D is really high. D is the highest sounding of all the cowboy chords, because the deepest sounding note of a D is still pretty high. It's the 4th guitar string, the D. That's the deepest note. It's not very deep, okay? There's not a deep sound with D. D is high. It's like way up. It's the highest sounding of all the cowboy chords. There's no deep notes in it. There's no notes on this string. There's no notes on this string. Those strings aren't even played. The deepest sounding note is this note, which is the highest of all the chord tones so far. Okay, so I'm going to play a random cowboy chord. It's going to either be E, G, A, C, or D. All right, you guess. Here we go. All right, what's this chord? Okay, now there's a lot of ways you could tell what chord it is by ear. And the way I'm teaching you right now is figure out the lowest note. What's the deepest note that you hear right now? If you could sing it, that would help. A. It's an A, everybody. Okay, there are other ways you could tell too. Like, if you have a really good ear, you can tell how many notes are in the chord. All right? If there are 5 notes, it's got to either be A or C. If there are 6 notes, all right, well, that's either E or G. If there are only 4 notes, well, then it has to be D. Okay, so the number of notes helps you. And another thing that really helps you to pick out your cowboy chords is listening to the highest sound. See, people's ears either tune into the lowest sound or the highest sound. It's really hard to hear a note in the middle. Remember 10 minutes ago when we talked about I'm going to put a note in the middle of the chord and it's harder to hear? It's always easier to hear it if it's at the top or the bottom, if it's either the lowest or the highest. And so let's talk about that. When I play an E chord, can you hear this note in there? That's the sparkle note. That note's shiny. Ah, it's way up. High note. Listen for that open E. It's obvious. It's in there. Okay, now how does a G sound? It's a little different. It has this note. Okay, so listen for that highest note. Let's keep going. Okay, what if I played an A? Here's that open string again. You can hear it in there. I know, that note was also an E, so I guess it makes it a little hard to tell. Like if you hear this note, you're not sure if it's E or A, but that note's common to those two chords, but that's okay. Right now, we'll just recognize that that note's in an A. That open string, that skinny string. Okay, now I'm going to play a C chord. Again, still has that open E. Let's see, what's next? D chord. Has this note. Second fret. Has that F sharp at the top. Okay, so maybe a good way to tell is listen to the highest note, and that will help you. Okay, let's keep going with our quiz. All right, I'm going to play a random cowboy chord. You guess. Ready? Go. I'm going to play the notes one at a time. Okay, there are several clues, right? If you count the notes, there are 5 notes, right? Well, that's a clue. That narrows it down. And if you listen to the bass, is it low, medium, or high? That's a clue. Okay, the answer was C. Keep guessing, okay? You might guess the wrong answer in the first few chords, but you know what? If we just play this game and you guess 100 times, you're gonna get good at it, so just stick with it. Okay, ready, go. What's this chord? I'm gonna tell you how I guess it. I just sing the low note. It's the lowest sound you got. Doesn't go any lower than that. It's the lowest sound you can make. If it's really low like that, you know it's E. Okay, guess this chord. Go. What is that chord? Here's the individual notes. This helps you. That was a G, everybody. Shirtless Guitar Guy says E minor is lower. Yeah, E minor is lower. You're right. If I play E, it sounds like this. La. But if I play E minor, la, one of the notes sinks down and becomes a lower note. So thanks for pointing that out. Okay, I'm not really doing major and minor right now, but I just want you to be able to guess E, G, A, C, D. Those are essential, right? We can get to the other chords, major and minor and seventh and all those other ones, but let's just start with E, G, A, C, D. Here we go. What is this chord? Okay, well, one clue is if you hum that lowest sounding note. See if you can hum the lowest sounding note. It's way up, isn't it? D. D is the highest of all the chords. Good job. You guessed D and you're right. Keep going. If we do 100 of these, you're going to get every answer right, okay? It's just repetition, repetition, repetition. I need a sign on my wall that says, practice the 3 R's of music. The 3 R's of music are repetition, repetition, and repetition. Here we go. What is this chord? Take a guess. I'll give you the individual notes. Okay, listen to the high note. Sometimes you can tell if it's a fretted note or whether it's an open string note. Nice bright chord. You're right, it's bright. Because open strings are bright. That was A, everybody. That was A. Can you tell the difference between an open string note and a fretted note? You totally can. I mean, that wasn't the point of this video. We're trying to guess chords, but it has a little bit to do with what we're doing right now. So If I play open E, we get this sound. Sounds twangy, like a banjo. There's a clicking sound when I hit the note, right? It snaps. Now what if I play that same note, 5th fret, string 2? To me, you know what? To me, that sounds like this. Okay, when I play fret 5 on string 2, it makes this sound. And when I play open E, it sounds like this. Open E sounds like this. 5th fret on string 2 sounds like this. You hear it? This is open E. 5th fret on string 2. It's different. Okay, so sometimes you can tell, am I fretting a note on the high string or is it an open string note? And so all these little things help you. Okay, anyway, let's go back to the quiz. All right, what chord is this? Name that chord. Here are the notes. Well, there are 5 notes, so that kind of narrows it down. Can you sing the bass note? Is it low, medium, or high? Medium. Okay, that's a C. All right. If some of you know music theory, so you don't have to learn music theory to know any of this. You can just recognize the sound, like you hear a dog barking and you know what dog it is, or you hear a car horn honking and you're like, I know whose car that is. Or you hear a doorbell and you're like, yeah, that's my doorbell. So you just remember sounds, right? So that's a great way to do ear training. But if you know a little bit of music theory, here's something I didn't mention before. Some chords have the 3rd right away, like a C has the next note. It makes a certain sound when you put the 3rd right next to the root and they're together. You can learn to recognize that sound. G has that too. If you play a G, guess what? The other chords don't have that. E doesn't have that. E starts out with this sound. Power chord sound. A has that same kind of sound too. A is this. Starts on a power chord. D also starts on a power chord. Okay, so I'm just trying to point out every little tiny thing that I can to help you figure out the sound of E, G, A, C, D. Let's keep going with our quiz. Ready? What's this chord? It's a high sounding chord. Okay, so if you guessed D, you're right. What's this chord? The answer is E, lowest chord of the guitar. What's this chord? The guessed A, the nice bright chord, you're right. I once had a guitar teacher tell me that A is the powerhouse of the guitar. Why is that? Because on A, you can go above or you could go below. And then come back to A. Yeah. A is a cool key to play in. You can go above or below and come right back. You can't do that with E because E's the bottom. E's the rock bottom. You can't do it with D. D's the top. Okay, so A's right in the middle. So with A, you can dip down or you can soar above and you can come right back. So A is like the most powerful key. Okay, keep guessing. Ready? What is this chord? The answer is C. What is this chord? The answer is G. What is this chord? The answer is C. What is this chord? The answer is E. What is this chord? The answer is D. Keep guessing. All right, what is this chord? That was C. What's this chord? That's E. What is this chord? That was a D. Let's do a few more. Continue. Then I'll look at the comments, okay? But let's continue with our quiz. All right, what is this chord? The answer is C. What is this chord? The answer is G. Keep going. Okay, this time I'm going to do finger picking. All right, so listen carefully. All right, what is this chord? D. What is this chord? The answer is A. What is this chord? The answer is E. What is this chord? The answer is C. What is this chord? The answer is G. What is this chord? The answer is D. Okay, I hope you felt that was helpful. And so let's wrap things up with a couple questions. All right, Arush says, which should I focus on more? Pentatonics or arpeggios? That's a really good question. Here's the answer. It depends on whether you want to play lead or rhythm. All right, so if you want to play lead guitar, you should learn pentatonics. All right, so if I'm playing a song and I want to rock a lead, I'll just go. That was 100% the pentatonic scale. Pentatonics help you to play leads not just in the blues, but in all styles of music. A lot of people call them the blues scales or the blues boxes, but pentatonics are in every kind of music, from pop music to rock, metal, bluegrass, every style. So pentatonics help you to shred your lead guitar stuff. You should learn your pentatonics on one string. Pentatonics aren't just boxes you play straight across, but they play everywhere, right? Okay, so arpeggios are cool, but arpeggios help you to think of cool guitar lines and things to play in verses and things to play over the top of a second guitar player. So in other words, if a guy standing next to you is going G chord, D chord, C chord, you can be like, oh man, I know all my arpeggios, see? I know all my arpeggios. G arpeggio, C arpeggio, D arpeggio. Yeah, arpeggios help you with rhythm playing. You know, if I know my arpeggios, I can go. Okay, and so I know a lot of metal players are like, you need to know your arpeggios so you can shred. Like, you know, who's that guy from Megadeth? The guy from Megadeth in the 90s, Marty Friedman. Yeah, he really can play arpeggios and sound amazing and just playing really fast. But I find arpeggios useful for rhythm guitar and for parts. By parts, I mean the kind of thing that goes in between each line of singing. Okay, so if someone is singing the first verse, then you go. You know, the little tidbits that go in between the lines. So arpeggios are great. You can practice your arpeggios and get good at stuff like. But you know, it sounds a little dry if you're just trying to rock that as a metal solo. So what I find is it's cool to just be like. You know, make it more interesting. Or just helps you to know the whole guitar. It just helps you to understand all the frets, all the strings, all the notes, all the chords. If you learn arpeggios, it helps you to understand what to play during a song. But if you're more of a solo guy, then pentatonics are for you. Okay, well, I hope I answered that question, and thanks for tuning in with the question. All right, so I'll try to do more live videos like this as time goes on, so make sure you drop a like and a subscribe, and hey guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye. Oh, I forgot. This is a 1989 or 1991 Fender Strat Plus with the rolling nut. Joe Barden pickups, coil tap switch, pop-out tone knob. And I changed the tuners. It's a 91. I also have an 89 that's exactly the same guitar. So I have two of the same guitars. I'll show you that one next time. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Bye-bye.